News Prime.
Tonight on Joy News Prime, Electoral Commission meets Supreme Court deadline for the submission of the names of all voters who registered with the National Health Insurance Card and the processes it intends to follow to have those names deleted from the electoral roll. We'll bring you reactions from the stakeholders. Member of Parliament for Asin Central Kennedy Ejepon comes under fire for comments said to be derogatory of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. The New Patriotic Party, to which he belongs, however, says the condemnations may be premature. 2 persons suspected to have been involved in hurling stones at President Mahama's convoy in the Ashanti region have been arrested.
And in business, public policy think tank Institute of Fiscal Studies warns Ghana's program with IMF could face serious challenges, making set targets difficult to achieve. And the Disabel College win for the first time the National Science and Maths Quiz. Also coming up is sports entertainment. Joy is Interactive, which features this trending video of employees being lashed. We'll be telling you what could get you lashed at work and where in the world that happened. My name is Israel I, and this bulletin is available across Europe on ABN television station. Now, Accra High Court on Wednesday denied an application filed by Kwabena Osei praying the court to prevent the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority from registering a fleet of buses that have been imported into the country by the State Transport Company. It will be recalled that Kwabena Osei earlier this month filed a suit at the High Court faulting the DVLA for registering vehicles without emergency exit doors. Speaking to Joy News after the court hearing Wednesday, lawyer for the State Transport Company, Doris Dabanka Bekwe, said she was delighted the application was refused by the court.
To us, it's a good news because these buses have to be registered and allowed to apply on the routes of Ghana to restore the confidence that the general public had in the STC to travel with it because of its safety, the safety of the buses, reliability, comfort, and security. So to us, it's a good news for the case to be dismissed, the application to be dismissed.
Now, looking at, in terms of this particular one, in light of substantive issue, are you confident that in the long run the case will be dismissed?
I cannot comment on that. It's in the bosom of the judge. I cannot go ahead and give my judgment when the judge himself has not worked on it.
Staying with the cause, the Electoral Commission has successfully filed documents requested by the Supreme Court. The documents containing the list of voters who registered with the National Health Insurance Cards was filed by the clerk of the Electoral Commission's lawyer. The process was completed at approximately 4:35 p.m. Wednesday. Joining us is Joseph Akable, has been following this story and joins me in the studio. Good evening to you, Joseph.
Good evening, Israel.
All right, so you have been in courts essentially, actually all day waiting for the sitting out the arrival of the Supreme Court, of the Electoral Commission representative to file these documents, and you're saying that it happened. Tell us how it went well.
Well, at the court premises of the Supreme Court today, the focus was at the court registry. Now, we're expecting that the documents indeed will be filed before 4 p.m. Now, at 2 p.m., a gentleman came in. We understand he's a clerk from the EC's lawyer's office. He came in first with some documents, and those documents were conveyed in a jute bag, what we popularly call Ghana Must Go. So he brought some jute bags, about 3 of them in the first time around 2 p.m. Then after 4 p.m. he came in again with the second batch of the documents. So as at 4:30 p.m. when I spoke to him when he was leaving the premises, he confirmed that he had indeed finished the court's registry with the required documents.
Were you able to get any information as to how many names, for instance, the EC found to have registered with the National Health Insurance Card, which is in contention now.
Well, Israel, that is the juicy part of the information that unfortunately we couldn't get access to. He tells us that once they filed it, the court was supposed to file the various parties to this particular case, and he says, come tomorrow, we indeed know the details, but as it stands now, he can't disclose that.
All right, now we have a reaction from one of the plaintiffs to this whole thing. He's Abu Ramadan, and he's been speaking about what they make of the submission by the Electoral Commission.
As I talk to you now, we've not been served. We've not gone through the list. We don't know how many names have been submitted. We don't know what has been served. And for that matter, we can't confirm whether it's been pulled off or not, whether that list that has been served, purportedly to have been served or has been served, it's something that we can all go by or not.
But I'm pretty sure you're looking forward to tomorrow, because all will be revealed in a few hours.
We are. Myself and my colleague Evans, we are looking up to tomorrow, and we are excited about tomorrow too as well. But as much as that is, as I said here, I'm a little disappointed that the Electoral Commission has not been able to serve us with a copy of whatever they have gone to file before the court, because I believe in the spirit of good faith, they would have served us copies of this. Which they have not till now, and I'm surprised about that, because they shouldn't ambush us in court in the morning and say these are the processes we filed yesterday, or these are the documents we filed yesterday, and expect us to be able to do something really. But notwithstanding that, we are excited about tomorrow. We are confident that the judges are determined to do the right thing for Madagascar, and then they are committed to us doing that so that we can have a peaceful election.
I get a sense from what you just said and what I've heard from last week that tomorrow when you go to court, even if you're told that they submitted X number of documents, you would want some time to look at it, scrutinize it, and come back and indicate whether you're pleased with the credibility of these documents.
First and foremost, I wouldn't say that clearly, because I'm not a lawyer. I wouldn't say that clearly because I'm not a lawyer. But what we expect is that they should tell us how they arrived at those names. First and foremost, we should all have clarity on that. We should also be able to have clarity on the legitimacy of those names. It's not just conjuring names and putting them down on a piece of paper and present it to the court. But really, whether those names really exist on the register or not, whether those names really use health insurance or not, and also whether that is the entirety of names on the register that use health insurance and registering. Those areas, I believe, it's not just for our satisfaction, but the court itself must also satisfy itself with these, before if the names will be, if that list will be approved or not, it is taken into consideration.
I mean, some may wonder. I mean, Mr. Ramadan, you went to court, you asked for these documents. Now they've been provided. Now you're raising doubts about what has been provided. I mean, you should be jubilating now that you have what you want.
I have not raised doubts. I have not cited the documents to even raise doubts over them. Well, I was hoping to have cited the documents by now, but we've not cited the documents. So I can't question the credibility of that document as it stands now. But I'm just.
Well, Abu Ramadan is the former national youth organizer of the People's National Convention, and he's one of the plaintiffs who's actually taking this matter to court. The campaign manager for the New Patriotic Party, Peter McMenu, says the party intends to subject the names submitted by the EC to rigorous scrutiny once the list becomes available to them. For Mr. McMenu, the number of registrants should be no different from the estimates given by the Electoral Commission in court last year.
Well, they have to present the numbers first before I take a look at what I'll say. But I know that they were in court, and it's in court records, that they say that there are a large number of people who use the NHIS card. They themselves, the Attorney General said that at the Supreme Court. We have it on court record. So if you say there are a large number of people with NHIS card to procure their voters card, and we say go and bring them, then you should know that we are expecting a large number of.
So you would kick against any number that looks small to you?
And let them bring it. And I think that they are going to adhere to what they themselves told the August and the highest court of the land.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Now, opinions are divided among members of Parliament on comments made by MP for Asing North, Kennedy Ejipon, suggesting the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, secured her job by granting sexual favors. The comment made on a political platform has been widely condemned by many. It however turns out that in Parliament, the two sides of the House are looking at the issue depending on where they stand. Whilst the majority NDC are unhappy with the comments, describing it as a disgrace to the House, their colleagues on the majority side say the condemnation is premature until evidence is provided. Parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe Wednesday spoke with MP for Ablekuma Central, Theophilus Tete Chai, and his colleague, chairperson of the Gender Committee of Parliament, Hajia Ladi Ayamba, who is also the MP for Pusiga, on the subject.
We are very, very much concerned. For me, as an individual, sometimes I even feel ashamed to be a member of Parliament, because we are supposed to be role models for the youth of this country, because we are in leadership, and as leaders we need to exhibit exemplary leadership. But it's rather unfortunate that some of our colleagues in Parliament are not living up to expectation, because I believe that the essence of democracy is to listen to each other. We need to criticize each other, but not to attack the person. And for me, any attack on a woman is an affront to the entire society, because in one breath, we are advocating for more women in leadership. Because we believe that when women are also brought on board, it will go a long way to enhance our democracy. But the same people who are advocating to ensure that there is that equality in terms of the way governance is done in this country continue to denigrate women who are doing their best to also support other women to join politics. And for me, that is a big worry.
If you talk about women taking leadership positions, it is this particular type of nonsense that comes up that prevents women from wanting to be part of it. Because you get into it is that women in politics are politicians, are prostitutes. They go sleeping with people's men. Women in politics are useless. They don't have any moral values. They say all kinds of things. We just take it for granted. Meanwhile, you ask them, you don't even know the number of women that they know in their lives that they think they can make those statements. But even then, you should respect yourself that even if you slept with a woman, you shouldn't even be able to come out and say it's this or that about her, much more that you may not know her. What evidence does he have to have made such a statement against the woman? What evidence does he have? If he has evidence, he was talking about EC and its activities, and so he should have been attacking what? Issues, not personalities. Are we trying to say that the men in positions, did they also exchange themselves sexually to get those positions? Is it just because we have gays or lesbians, whatever you want to refer to them as? Did he sleep with someone before getting that position? If we have problems with issues, we should attack issues. We should say whatsoever, but personalities we must avoid. And it's unfortunate that it is coming from an MP. We women are not happy about it. And I, as a gender committee chairperson, want to say that it shouldn't be repeated, and not from an honorable member, because the title honorable is too big to have such things coming from us.
But on a personal level, will you call for an apology or a withdrawal of the statement?
I just want to tell you that if it had been me as an individual per se, I'll see him in court.
Well, Joy News is learning the Minority Caucus at a meeting earlier on Wednesday extensively discussed the issue, but members are tight-lipped on the decision reached. MP for Sujaman Kofi Osei Amea is one of those who believes it is too early to be passing judgment.
At this point in time, I don't have the particulars, full particulars of the words to be able to make an informed judgment on the word's constitution as to whether it is libelous or defamatory in any way, shape, or form.
But to accuse somebody of getting the job as an EC chair because of sexual favors she may have extended, isn't that condemnable for you?
I don't know the evidence that Ken Ejipon has, right? I don't, and I wouldn't be the one to be standing here pontificating about the right and wrong of a statement that somebody has made when I don't have the privilege of the evidence upon which he stands to make that. Until that is challenged and he comes forward to put forward the evidence, how can I condemn him at this point in time when I don't have further and better particulars backing the allegation that he...
The opposition New Patriotic Party, meanwhile, says it will probe comments by the Asing North MP Kennedy Agyapong, alleging that the Electoral Commission boss secured her job by granting sexual favors. The party's campaign manager, Peter McMenu, says the party does not have evidence suggesting the MP indeed made the comments being attributed to him, but says the necessary action will be taken once the party meets on the matter.
I haven't heard the tips, but that's for social media. You know, many false information goes on around there. So I always... I haven't seen that. That's what I'm saying.
You've not read any story
today
on the news portal?
No.
But you would be surprised if he passed those comments against the AC boss, saying that she
exchanged a woman. You see, I was just telling somebody here that people get on political party platforms and they get swayed away. Perhaps that was not the intention. We need to find out. If it's true that he said that, like I'm saying, it might be the frenzy on platforms.
Some are asking the flag bearer Nana Addo to come in and then calm the waters in terms of speaking to Kennedy Agyapong to be able to engage in the politics of issues.
So where is the storm? Where is the...
Because Kennedy is known for engaging in the politics but they are asking the flag bearer to call him to book.
The flag bearer, you say there's a storm. I'm telling you, there's no storm. There's no storm. I haven't seen the story. If it is true, Kennedy might have been carried away, as I'm saying, on the platform. You haven't been on platform before, so you don't think that, you don't know what happens. Go and ask the former British Prime Minister, Gordon, the Labour Party.
Watching Joy News Prime, we're taking a break, but we have more stories coming up. Up next, we're bringing you the story about people hurling stones at the convoy of President Mahama, somewhere in the Ashanti region. Please stay tuned. We're back in a bit. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. 2 people have been arrested by the Ejussu police in the Ashanti region for reportedly hooting at the president and hurling stones at his convoy. The 2, whose names are yet to be disclosed, were part of an army of protesters who lined up on the streets of the town and adjoining communities where the president had gone to inspect some development projects as part of his Accounting to the People tour. Nshira FM's Ohiming Teya reported it is not clear yet the motive of those involved in the act. Deputy Ashanti Regional NDC organizer explained what transpired earlier.
Yesterday, the president's convoy moved successfully and smoothly from Kumaru to Kumasi to Kapsor for the commencement of the new campus of Kumasi Technical University and the subsequent commissioning of the Renewable Energy Center and Center for Entrepreneurship Village. Thereafter, I think it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the evening, as you are aware, the vehicles move in trenches. There is the advance team, and subsequently the president's convoy, and other people who may be in other vehicles also follow suit. So in the course of the going, coincidentally, I happened to be in one of the vehicles that left earlier. When you go to one of the villages or towns around the district, I think the place is called Ongi, thereabout, we saw an organized group of youth, very organized, extremely organized. At least you could easily infer that they had been bashed or organized and brought there, who without any provocation whatsoever, without any altercation, decided to launch an onslaught onto one of the vehicles in which these state protocol department operatives were in. So naturally, they got down to inquire why, but there was no explanation forthcoming. So they issued some caveat that they should desist from such activities, particularly when the president will soon be using the same route. To my surprise, I think later in the evening, I received a phone call from our Ejussu constituency parliamentary candidate, Madam Gloria Jose, that their vehicle had been attacked around the same area by an organized group of youths who, again, without any confrontation, decided to launch that onslaught on their vehicle. People were injured. It was surprised at such happening. Nonetheless, that also confirms our initial fears and the intel we picked that some organized group of citizens were planning to, as it were, attack the president's convoy. I mean, I would not know what the motivation would be, but I think judging from the massive show of love and outpouring of obvious commitment to ensuring that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama continues his good work in Ashanti region.
Let's now speak to Ohiming Teria, who is following President Mahama's tour of the Ashanti region. Good evening to you, Ohiming. What else have you been able to find out about the incident involving the president's convoy?
Yes, Israel, the incident was actually involved with a vehicle that was following the president's convoy. So it wasn't the president's convoy per se, but nonetheless, these were NDC supporters who were following the president while he visited and commissioned projects at Piase in the Bosomchin district. What I do know is that 2 people have been picked up by the police. I'm told they were young men from Ajuso or Yoko, but unfortunately, police have been tight-lipped, refusing to provide details of these young men who were picked up, except to say that they have launched investigations into this. And the NDC executives in the region have also backed police to conclude investigations to a logical conclusion, as they put it.
All right, so you're saying that this vehicle, we're told, got some stones hurled at, was following the president's convoy. How far behind was it? Was it about 10 minutes after the president's convoy had gone past?
Yes, Israel, what I do know is that yesterday the program came off very late, a few minutes after 6:30 p.m. So even when we gathered for the program, it was already at night. So after the program, a lot of people, they came in their private vehicles. Me, for instance, I went there in the company's vehicle, but we all joined the convoy. And so I was told a few minutes after the president's convoy has left, that is when the incident happened. They were in the bus, actually. So it was the bus that the young men threw stones at it and smashed one of the glasses in the window.
All right, Ohiming, one other thing, what has the president been up to today?
Yes, it's been a very busy day for President Mahama and his entourage. Earlier in the morning, we were at Adobera in the Achimamponua district to commission one of the community day senior high schools. From there, he proceeded to Mensha Palace, where he paid a courtesy call on the Asante and the Asante Council. And from the Asante Council we came back to Dijama in the Afano South district to commission another community day senior high school before we left for Finso, where there was a deba of chiefs. And the president also addressed the chief. So it's been a very busy day. And from now, we are heading towards Kumasi after the Ofinso program.
All right, thank you very much. Ohiming Teria of Insura FM is following President John Mahama on his Accounting to the People tour, which is taking him to the Ashanti region. Back here in Accra, the chairman of the Government Assurance Committee of Parliament, Emmanuel Bejra, says the committee will ensure that ministers are accountable with respect to promises made. His committee has been touring 6 different ministries, especially the education sector, to verify if ministers are working on the undertakings and if they have been implemented. He was speaking with Francis Abano on the port earlier.
2014, we went for verification visit because you cannot just decide that, okay, I'm calling a minister who has given assurance. You need to go to the spot where the assurance has been made or a project site. So we set out in 2014 to do some verification. We've done the verification in 2014 as regards to 2013 assurances. So 2014, we've gone to about 6 different spots, 6 different ministries, education, health, power, power, then it was energy and petroleum, and highways, roads and highways.
It's good you mentioned these 4 areas, and let's take it one by one so people get to understand the promises that were made and what job your committee has done in following through. I'm sure for education, the one that quickly pops up in anyone's mind is the promise of the 200 community-based senior high schools.
Exactly.
How far have you gone in verifying that assurance?
Exactly. In 2014, we visited, 2015 rather, 2014, we visited a place called, in the western region, a very close remote area in one of the constituencies. We visited, but then they started constructing. We went to visit to find out whether, because then we were told that 50 of them will be completed in a year. So we visited one of them because we had a lot of places to go. And when we got there, we realized that they were at the 3rd floor to the 4th floor, which was in progress. So we used that as a way of inviting the minister to come and answer. And then we had another promise that has to do with another senior high school, in a completion of a senior high school dormitory block in the Brown Hartford region. So we invited the minister to come and answer. In fact, for the first time in the history of Parliament, we were able to bring ministers to answer questions before the public. That was a public hearing. It has never happened before, but this committee did that for the first time. In addition to the 2 other committees, that's the Public Accounts Committee and Appointment Committees that used to have public hearing.
Okay, but on the 200 senior, community senior high schools,
coming to that.
200 was promised.
200.
How many have been delivered, and do we know why the others have not been done yet?
Good. So let me end up. We finished with the report. We have laid the report. Just last 2 weeks, we've laid the report. In the report, I will not divulge what we have in the report because plenary have to discuss the report. In the report, we stated that at the end of July, the minister is to come back again to tell the House how many has been constructed so far.
No, but if you've been tracking it since 2013 and the report, the discussions were done publicly, why won't you tell us what is in this report?
It's in the report. The report has not been discussed by Parliament, so I cannot tell you.
But do we know how many have been constructed?
She will come to the floor of the House to discuss.
Has the 200 been constructed?
It has not been completed.
Do you know why?
Well, the minister will come and tell us why he has not been completed.
Why can't you tell us? You are the chairman of that committee.
I'm the chairman, but I cannot tell. I'm not a minister. I'm a chairman. And the minister is to come and tell us whether it's been completed or not.
But you see,
in my report,
you are our representative in Parliament to ensure that these promises are carried through to the letter. And we need to know from you, our representative, what has happened to it. So
it is not for me to push the minister to finish it. If the minister has not finished, my report is to tell the Ghanaians that the minister has not finished it.
You're watching Joy News Prime. Still to come in the bulletin, at Disadel College win for the first time the National Science and Maths Quiz, sending Santa Clausians wild with jubilation.
Congratulations, Adisco.
We'll have that and more coming up after this. Welcome back to Joy News Prime. This year is an election year and many women activists are advocating for the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill currently before Parliament. The overall participation of women in the economic, social, political and public life is relatively low. Hence the need for the bill to be passed to enable Ghanaian women have equal representation and participation in politics and decision-making at all levels.
Affirmative bill, when passed, will reverse the discrimination that women suffer in both political and public life. This, they say, will help Ghanaian women to be committed and determined to surmount all difficulties and forge ahead to achieve a common goal.
When we talk about political representation, there are many countries in the world, and specifically in Africa today, which have utilized the affirmative action measures to enhance women's effective participation. You can Google affirmative action in parliaments or women's representation in parliaments, and all the countries that come up on top first, you will, and if you check further, you will see that a certain principle, a certain affirmative action measure was put in place to make sure that those countries have a greater representation. We're talking of a minimum representation of 30% as mandated by the UN which says that in every situation, be it your media house, be it your household, wherever you are, if you see that at a minimum, women are represented to the tune of 30%, then you can have a strong voice of women. Then you can have some impactful decision-making by women.
Meanwhile, some women advocates have treated with contempt chauvinistic comments by Aston North MP Kennedy Ejapon.
I insist that when some of these comments come up about women, and the more we try to address it, the more we spread those distasteful comments. I would say that those distasteful comments should be, treated with the contempt that it deserves. If individuals want to take it up, it's fine. But I think that if we start naming and shaming some of these actions, right, people will desist from doing it. Because like right now, we are making those statements sound like, yeah, we want to hear them, so people should jump at it. I won't. As a person, honestly, I won't jump at any of those statements.
So far, EC Chair Charlotte Osei has not reacted to the comments.
Up next, we bring you international news. All right, guess who's back? Aisha's back. All right, Aisha, welcome. You've been away for a while.
And I'm happy to be back.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
I missed you guys.
Oh, yeah. And the whole internet misses you.
Anyway, so it's time to get to know what's coming up in about 40 minutes on the interactive segment. Now, the presidential candidate of the Convention People's Party, Ivan Kobina Greenstreet, says Ghana is in a miserable state. This misery, he says, has been brought onto the country due to 24 years of failed policies from subsequent NDC and NPP governments. So what do you think about this statement?
No, I wouldn't agree that Ghana is a miserable state today. I feel something can be done about it. As time goes on, when a different government comes into power, for instance, he can change anything.
We'll also be delving into the argument that women who wear low-cut tops are more likely to land a job after an interview. What do you make of this?
To me, showing your cleverage doesn't mean anything because you went there purposely to seek work and then you should be well dressed. So I think if I were an interviewer, it wouldn't have any effect on me because I'll stick by my principles.
But come to think of it, what is the biggest English word you've ever heard?
It's higriji pijriji.
What's the meaning?
That is non-entity. Oh, it was said by one of our seniors.
Well, when I return, I'll be asking you the biggest English word you've ever come across. I'll be back before you know.
All right, thank you very much, and we certainly can't wait to have Aisha fully here to tell us what's coming up on, or to tell us about Joy News, or take us through Joy News Interactive. But we'll also be looking at some of the trending topics, the National Science and Maths Quiz, which we'll be telling you about in a bit. Stay tuned. All right, before we bring you the rest of the stories, let's take a look at our top stories. The Electoral Commission has met the Supreme Court deadline for the submission of the names of all voters who registered with the National Health Insurance card and the processes it intends to follow to have those names deleted from the electoral roll. Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Kennedy Ejapon, has come under fire for comments said to be derogatory of the chairperson of the Electoral Commission. The New Patriotic Party to which he belongs, however, says that condemnations may be premature. Two persons suspected to have been involved in hurling stones at President Mahama's convoy in the Ashanti region have been arrested. And public policy think tank Institute of Fiscal Studies warns Ghana's program with the IMF could face serious challenges, making set targets difficult to achieve. Adesadel College made history on Wednesday when they won the National Maths and Science Quiz for the first time in the history of the competition. The college beat previous winners in Mfantsipim and Opokuwari Senior High School to win the coveted trophy and the bragging rights for 365 days. Jennifer Kwamwa was there, and that's more.
The three finalists, there was more at stake than just prize money. It was the opportunity to win the trophy and bragging rights over their rival schools. This year's edition of the National Maths and Science Quiz saw three boys' schools, Mfantsipim, Opokuwari, and Adesadel College, pit their brains and wits against each other in one of the most fiercely contested quizzes in recent times. And for Adesadel College, it was the time to right a very serious wrong.
Last year we came, we couldn't do it. It was a mistake. Yes. Now this year we've come, and we've done it. Next year, watch us.
The contestants were tense yet eager to win each point, and the crowd backed them every step of the way. For 5 rounds, the 6 young men kept their nerves in check as they fought for each point. But after the riddle section, it became all too clear who was heading for victory. And then the winner was announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the 2016 National Science and Maths Quiz is Adesadel.
For the first time in its 23-year history, and after a heartbreaking loss last year, Adesadel College were crowned the victors.
Congratulations!
I feel ecstatic. We wanted to do this last year. We missed out narrowly. This year we've made it. We wanted to do back to back to back. So next year is still on course. We have to win and get to the highest because in Adesadel, either the first or with the first. And we have to win it 5 times before we will rest.
Spirit lasts with you for life. I'm a dentist. I left my work and I'm here to support my boys. They've made me proud, and today I have the bragging rights for the next 1 year.
Yep.
Santa Claus, so we do.
Their fellow competitors, Owas and Mfantsipim, were gracious in defeat.
We are very much okay. We are fine with the competition. Everything went well. Adesko was leading throughout the whole rounds, and we suspected they may win, but we are not too saddened that we lost or we are third, but we are grateful wherever we are. So we are also happy and enjoying the contest.
Until the 2017 edition of the National Maths and Science Quiz, a well-deserved congratulations to the winning school.
Right, so it's still congratulations to Adesadel, but it's interesting the way Twitter has been reacting to this victory by Adesadel College. Let's get to Twitter, the Twitter trends. And if you look at the Ghana trends, we have GHPL, Drive on Y, Wild Stars, and then Accra Academy is trending. We also have, let's skip, the National Science and Maths Quiz is also trending, but it comes after Accra Academy. Adesko, the school which won, is also trending, but it also comes after Accra Academy. And then Owas, which is another school which took part in the competition, is way down there. Let's find out why Accra Academy is trending, and it's quite interesting. So this one says definitely next year will be a first time for Accra, and this other one says I see say Accra the trend. My heart cuts. I beg, what we do? And then boss, if you like, you be Accra rejected. But if you look, essentially, well, the 8 best school in Africa were that big. And essentially, Accra Academy is trending, but it's not because they won or they took part or they were that close. But, well, people are trying to, you know, make the Mickey out of, take the Mickey out of Accra Academy. But let's move on to other stories. There's growing agitation among some ranks of the Ghana Army over some deductions by the top hierarchy, up to 20% of their salaries. Although the military high command says the monies are for their end of service benefits, some of the officers say they are being forced to pay for a bank project. By the CDS, Air Marshal Samson Michael Oje says the money is deducted is for their own good.
A few years ago, the Armed Forces High Command came out with a novel idea to start some savings, some form of savings, that is inducing officers and men of the armed forces, as well as civilian employees, to save a certain percentage from 7.5% to a maximum of 12% each month from a salary. We mooted this idea and sold it to the rank and file of the armed forces. Within days, we were reported to the then president, the sitting president, the late President Atta Mills. May so rest in perfect peace. We were marched to the president's place by the CDS. We didn't know what was in there for us. Got there, and the president said, look, not in his own words, please. I'm quoting just my own words. What am I hearing? That officers and men are not happy with you forcing them to contribute their monies for what? That was all they told him. They didn't tell him the full idea. We explained and said, look, our chief, commander-in-chief, anything we do is for the comfort of the officer or man. We have been in this system all these years, and we know the challenges at the exit point. We've stayed in this system more than any soldier or officer, and we know the challenges at the exit point. So we're proposing that you contribute between 7.5% and 12% each month, and that will be safe for them. It will attract what they call it, interest and whatnot. And at your exit point, your savings and your what you call it, interest will be given to you. You know what the president said? He said he was a taxman and knew the difficulty of savings, and he had given us to go ahead. Give us to go ahead. Listen. We went back, chest out, went round the units and explained to them that we realized that communication was poor. And when we went there, initially we started at 7.5. Do you know, within a year, what happened? Officers and men were writing to us to increase it to 20%. They wanted, now everybody is at the maximum, 15%. What? 20%, good.
You're watching Joy News. When we're taking a break, we have entertainment coming up. Right, there's yet another person who's coming back after being away for a while. I guess you can guess. Miss G.
Oh, 2 days?
Yeah, 2 days is a long time.
Is it?
Yeah, the people who were posting on Twitter and asking where you were.
What did you tell them?
I didn't tell them anything.
You didn't tell them I had gone for yoga lessons?
Oh.
Because I wanted to, I didn't want to do the Kung Fu dance. I wanted to come with yoga.
No, we know you can dance. So
I can dance?
Yeah.
You never said that before.
Okay,
I would have come back yesterday if you had told me earlier.
We know you can dance.
Okay.
We're happy to have you back.
Hey, it's good to see you, Israel.
Yes.
Okay, so it's that time of the year. We are going to the polls. A lot of celebrities are still talking about their political affiliation. The latest, to drop a hint of where his allegiance belongs is Amanziba. Amanziba, we know, is nephew to the late President John Evans Atta Mills.
Okay.
But one would think that, okay, it doesn't really matter. If his uncle is gone, his uncle is gone. Guess where he still belongs?
Well, I'd want to think that he belongs to the NDC.
Because I said still. So.
No, but I think it's not exactly a secret where he belongs, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, yes, Amanziba for you.
I have a lot of respect for Nana Akufo-Addo. I have a lot of respect for JMD or JDM. Okay. But when Adiama me leaning towards JMD, a sitting president goes on an interview in the whole of the United States and the BBC and he says, who is your favorite artist? And he says Amanziba. I think that is a joke. I have that personal. He's been my friend. Before, yes. Before he became the vice president, and before he became the president, because when he was the vice president, my uncle was the president. Professor Mills was the president. My respect to Nana Akufo-Addo, my respect to...
Do you wish him well too?
Exactly, I wish him luck. I mean, listen, we want this country to be governed properly, so whoever comes to steer our affairs must be able to take us to the promised land, and he is the one that everybody will have to follow.
Okay, so Israel.
Yes.
If a presidential candidate goes international and says, oh, my favorite news anchor is Israelite.
Yes.
Is that enough for you to publicly declare your
Why
loyalty?
not? That's a massive endorsement.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
That's a massive endorsement. People vote for presidential candidates on the basis that they've given them 5 CDs. Or a cutlass. Or, yeah, some very flimsy. This is huge. For somebody to say that you are my number one.
In the whole of Ghana.
In the whole of Ghana, it says you're my favorite musician. That's a massive endorsement. And he didn't do it locally. He did it internationally. Do you know how much?
Now you know how to buy Israel's vote. You don't need to worry.
It doesn't have to be, of course.
Call CNN.
If you're a presidential candidate or a president.
And so call CNN, call BBC, call Al Jazeera, and just tell them that I've called to tell you who my favorite news anchor is Israelite, and you got his vote.
Yep.
Oh.
No two ways about that. No two ways about that.
And at that point, I fainted. Anyway, I hear Asan Ariga says you're a favorite news anchor. So it means that he has your vote.
He hasn't publicly said that.
Oh.
I haven't heard him say
I heard him say that.
Oh, you have?
Yes, on Joy News.
Oh, no.
Now you're denying the man. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to other stories. And Wisor is still in trouble. You know, after the 24th December incident at the Accra International Conference Center, he still has to go to court.
Yeah, he was supposed to be in court and he didn't show up.
Wisor tells me that. You know, Wisor is a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
You know, he told me today that.
Very good friend of yours?
Very good friend of mine.
Very good friend of yours.
Wisor, I can vouch, won't grant anybody an interview except his Miss G.
Okay. Birds of the same feathers?
No, that's not it. We are not even of the same sex, so it doesn't. We don't have any feathers to flock with.
But he's a very good friend.
Very good friend of mine. You know, I came back to work and I said, "Hey, what happened?" He says, "The people are worrying me. I forgot. My lawyer didn't give me updates." And I'm like, "Really?" Yes, that's what he told me. You know, I tried to get him to grant us an interview. He says that, well, because he's been looked for, he's not speaking to the media and all that. But here's what happened if you're not updated on the Wisor issue.
Wisor is expected to be in court at the next hearing on July 13. Speaking in an interview, Wisor said he was sorry for his inability to appear before court and promised to attend the next hearing. He said, and I quote, "I was at home and tried several times to talk to my lawyer a few days ago, but couldn't reach him. I don't know the date until I saw this news online and realized I had to be in court. I will just say sorry, and it wasn't intentional, and I wasn't called to be alerted that I had to be in court that morning." Wisor admitted that he can run away from the case, and so he is still around waiting for 13th of July to appear in court.
All right, so I want to know, is he going to, you know, turn himself in?
No, well, I don't know if this is for the public consumption, but WISA is finding a way
if it's privileged information, then you can
yes, I think that all I deduce from what the conversation we had today is that he's finding a way to make amends. You know, he will show up anyway and anyhow.
But you see, if you've been able to reach WISA and the courts are looking for WISA,
they could also reach him.
They could come for you.
Me? You almost, in fact, I hold my peace.
Yeah. Yes. Because you've said that you've been able to.
There's no part of my name that is called Lashite. Anyway, okay. So, do you know Efia Schwarzenegger?
Yes.
Who is she?
She's I'll say, socialite.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
So you know her?
Yes.
But how come Yvonne Nelson doesn't know her?
Did she say that?
Well, I don't know. What did she say?
Now, okay, and I'm beginning to think that maybe she's just being mischievous.
Well, a lot of people have said, you know, Yvonne Nelson and Dolores Frimpong Manso have a very tight relationship.
Okay.
And if you follow the story so far, you know that Dolores and Efia Schwarzenegger, which is Valentina.
Yeah, they're falling out.
Exactly. So it's like more like where my loyalty lies.
No, but I mean, your loyalty doesn't mean that you should deny knowing somebody like.
Remember that last year when Yvonne Nelson staged the Doomsaw campaign, she had Efia, you know, coming at her. So it's more like it is payback time for you. It's payback time for you. I don't know you. I choose not to know you. Who are you? I only hear of you, you know, in the media, but I don't know you.
At this point, what readily comes to mind is that Lil Wayne video. I
can't think far. I can't think man. But Efia Schwarzenegger would always come back. Here's a response.
Good morning, Africa. This is the president's girlfriend on Nancy Black, blinking as usual, made in Ghana shape. I'm tired of everybody. I'm going to my family in Johannesburg. I'm tired of your gossip, your backbiting, your hypocrisy. I know her and I don't know her, bitches. And everybody that is involved, you know, I'm tired of you. And I've got the liberty to be tired. I'm going to some place where I can love John Mahama the more. Have a better July, because he ain't seen me in the country called Ghana. It's too hot. Full of gossip and hatred.
Well, these are some of the things that make Ghana a very exciting place.
Very exciting place to live. And I'm surprised that Efia of all people is telling us that this place is now too hot for her to live in.
And one of the things she said, she made reference to gossips and
yes.
We talk too much.
I'm surprised that Efia of all people.
Yeah, Efia.
When did you stop talking?
You do it better than everybody.
I tell you, what was that her show, Kokonsa or something like that? I'll go, whatever, Kokoko. And she will talk about everybody else. But, you know, it gets to a time when you get to feel the heat yourself, you know. Yeah. This time around, you're the one being talked about. Anyway, so Backstreet Boys, they're back. You know, they're going to be back. They're launching their album this year.
Okay.
Yes. Did you sing any of the love songs?
Well, yeah.
Which one?
They're quite popular. If you play
I know.
Which
of the love songs?
If you play any of them for me.
I don't have to play.
You don't have to. But if you played any of them, or you sang a little, I could sing.
As long as you love me, I don't care who you... Okay, my timing is wrong, but I'm better than you.
Your timing is bad.
I am better than you.
Where you're from.
Hey, what
you say?
I want it that. Okay, Israel, I can pardon you. You didn't write love letters when you were in school. I wrote a lot of love letters.
Okay.
So I know these words very well.
You used to put down those letters as
yeah,
those words, the lyrics.
You're a cake. In your time, you didn't do that. You didn't buy the sweet-scented, you know, what's it called, writing pads.
Look at you. Who buy ye, Ben?
Me buy and chair, you know, but my time still reigns. Anyway, that's it for entertainment, Israel.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. G. We're taking a break. We have sports next.
entertainment news was